So the troops that are here in the UK, what exactly are they doing?
They're undertaking a very intense training program that's going to improve their effectiveness, but also their survivability in the battle that Ukraine is facing with Russia. Actually, Canada has, over the past several years, trained almost 39,000 Ukrainian soldiers, and we work very closely in collaboration with the United Kingdom. I had the opportunity yesterday to visit Lid, where both Canadian Armed Forces members and the United Kingdom Armed Forces members have been involved in the training. These are mostly civilians that have just been recruited into the Ukrainian Armed Forces. They come here to the UK. They undertake a very intense program. We saw some of the training yesterday. And yesterday we also saw a cohort of them who have recently graduated from that training program that are heading back and will be in the front lines in days and weeks.
For those who aren't aware, of course, Canada has strong links to Ukraine. You have a really big Ukrainian diaspora even before this war. What extra funds have you been able to commit to the war effort there?
Actually, Canada has been, I think, quite resolute in its support of Ukraine from the outset. And beginning in 2014 with the Russian aggression in the Donbass, we began to assist Ukraine in a number of different ways, including with the training of their armed forces. But since the beginning of this conflict, we have contributed almost $2 billion in military aid to Ukraine, and we're continuing to find ways to support them, as well as other, like several $1 billion in other types of financial aid, because the needs of that country are quite significant. And we work very closely in collaboration. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'll be traveling to Ramstein, Germany, to meet with the Ukraine Defense Contract Group, which of course includes the United Kingdom. We'll be getting updates from the Ukrainians about the progress that they're making in their most recent counteroffensive, but also talking about some of the things that they need to continue in that fight. And we all work very collaboratively to make sure that they have the things that they need.
How is the war being regarded back in Canada? I mean, these are obviously huge sums of money and resources that Canada is putting into this war. It's a long way away from Canada.
Well, it is, and as you mentioned, there are almost 1.6 million Ukrainian Canadians in our country, and so we have a long-standing and very strong bond with Ukraine. But as well, we believe that this is also a battle to maintain the international rules order, the respect for the sovereignty of nations. We also believe that very much the Ukrainian people are on the front line of the defense of that international rules-based order, and we believe we have a commitment, and we're unwavering in that commitment to continue to support them in that fight.
And in terms of what we've seen overnight, it seems like progress is being made in some of the villages around Bakhmut. How do you think the Ukrainian counteroffensive is going?
I think the Ukrainian counteroffensive has been really quite extraordinary, and I'm absolutely admiring of their resolve, and they're in a very difficult fight, and I think they've demonstrated to the world their commitment in the defense of their country, and frankly, Canada and all of our coalitions and partners are very proud to stand with them and to support them in that fight.
How long, though, do you think you can keep up this level of support? This isn't a war that's going to be over in the next couple of months, isn't it?
No, ma'am. It certainly is a difficult and challenging fight that the Ukrainians are in, but we are unwavering in our support. And we would like to see this come to a peaceful resolution, but we will be there with Ukraine for as long as it takes. And we're having conversations now with the Ukrainian government and with our coalition partners on how we can develop sustained models of funding so that we can continue to make sure that we bring this to the proper resolution and protect that country.
Are you worried that of course a lot of this aid and a lot of this help is also being contributed to by the US? If we see a change of government there, what impact this might have on Canadians out there and investment?
I will say that we have seen a remarkable commitment from among all of our coalition partners, including, of course, the United States, that has made very significant and important contributions. And in all of our discussions with our counterparts around the world, I believe that support is very strong and will continue to be. There are always, issues with respect to change of governments, but I think certainly in my country, that resolve, there's a consensus, I think, among most Canadians that this is the right fight to support, and that what is happening in Ukraine, that Canada and all of our partners have a responsibility here to be there for them.
And finally, you're also due to meet our new Defence Secretary, Grant Shapps, today, I think. He's faced some criticism here in the UK for his lack of military experience when you compare him to his predecessor, Ben Wallace. What do you think of him so far?
Well, I was very impressed with the defence policy update that the previous Secretary released a few months ago, and I think it's a strong model for us. We can all learn from that. I'm really looking forward to working with Defense Secretary Shapps. Our relationship with the United Kingdom there's 150 years of collaboration between Canada and the United Kingdom. It's a proud and honored history that I hope that the Defense Secretary and I will be able to continue together.